Okay, cool.
We've been rolling.
Okay, that's awesome. We're rolling, guys. You want to start us off?
Welcome to Love Strong. Welcome to Wholehearted. That's the series we're going with now.
It's good to be here, you guys. We didn't know if we were actually going to be able to get anything in today because I've been gone down to Provo, Utah for the state championships for track and field for the state of Utah the last 2 days, and Chase was good enough to come up and watch my two younger girls while I was down there, and I wasn't sure we were going to get into this, but I'm glad we did today.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing because you've been feeling not great. You said you were feeling sick last night with a headache and feverish right now.
Yeah.
And if I'm being honest, you look a little bit like a lobster, a little crab-like in some ways.
I literally feel like I'm sunburned, but I know I'm not sunburned because it rained for 2 straight days, and I was under an umbrella the whole time. But I feel like it's like in Napoleon Dynamite, like it's like vote for Pedro. Like that's how I need to go home and just like shave my head because I feel like that right now. So
it's hot.
Yeah, it feels really hot. Yeah, so hopefully it'll die down here, but I feel like a lobster right now.
Oh, man.
But yeah, so while I was down there at this track and field thing, there were a couple of things that just ran through me that I think applied to sort of some of the things that I'm working on, especially in terms of this project that we're working with. And the first insight that I really had, and I think is worth everyone that's listening to this to think about, is what places in your life are you willing to go all in? And the reason I say that is because I'm down there for 2 days watching race after race after race, and just about every race you could tell there was a kid in that race that just left everything there. Whether they won or not was beside the point. They left everything there. And I think one of my most favorite things in the entire world is to watch somebody put themselves in an arena and give everything. And one of the biggest treats for me just this weekend was my daughters. Both of them ran, and Lexi, the freshman, ran, and she's kind of on a big stage for the first time, and just really neat to see her. I think she's got the same fever thing because she was bright red and said she didn't feel very good, but she still went out there and gave everything she had, and she actually outperformed what she was supposed to do, and it was just really cool to see. And then Madison, my older one, she sometimes has a tendency to hold things back a little bit. I think she's afraid of failing, and she almost hedges her bets by leaving a little in the tank sometimes. And today in her 1 mile 1600 race, she played it just right. And again, she didn't win the race. She ended up, I think, 10th or 11th overall in the state. And it's
pretty incredible for a sophomore.
Yeah, for a sophomore, not bad, you know. But again, the place wasn't really what I was so proud of. It was watching her as she came around that final turn. I could see she was hurting. Yeah. And I thought, oh, she's going to kind of nestle in behind a couple of these girls that are in front of her. And instead, she just kind of got a look in her eye and she let go, and she ended up passing 6 or 7 girls on the last 100 meters. And right at the very end, there was a girl who she's been back and forth with in her own region, and she was way ahead, 20, 30 yards ahead, and right at the finish line, Maddie just edged in front of her, and it was just like this kind of glorious moment for her to finally kind of get the monkey off her back, and just to see her give everything was just a really cool thing.
All right.
So
that's incredible.
Yeah.
I had a few thoughts pop into my head about where I'm at in some of my own work and process. I'm really good at journaling and writing things down. I'm such a list maker, and I love ideas and spending time thinking of ideas. A lot of the time I'll write down the idea and then I do nothing with it. That's one of my biggest weak points, is how excited I get about something, but then I put it on the shelf and I let it gather dust, and then I go look at it, and I actually feel a lot of shame that surfaces whenever I see that thing that, oh, I was so excited about this. This was such a good thing, and I did nothing for it. There are a few things in my life right now where I don't want to have that same type of regret. I want to feel excited and committed. And Inky Johnson, you showed me this guy. One of the things that he said in a video that he was a part of was that I want to be the type of person who is committed to the thing that I'm doing way after the feeling I had for it is dead and gone. So I'm excited about this thing. I get started into it. I'm working on it. I'm gaining momentum, and then all of that desire and excitement leaves. Do I give up? Or am I the kind of person that says, no, I committed to this already, and I know there's going to be good fruits ahead if I'm just willing to put in the work now. The harvest is going to be way worth it. I've got a few things on my list right now where I'm like, oh, I'm excited about it now, but is that going to leave, and how long down the road? I guarantee it's going to happen. I know the feeling's going to leave, but I want so badly for this to be a different approach and a different time.
Yeah, I think that's really hard. When you think about that idea of motivation, as you were talking, I was thinking, I think our list is way massive right now.
Right, it's out of control massive.
Right, we have more ideas and things we want to do than we have the time to do if neither of us had a full-time job.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it, but you're right, it's that idea of when you lose the motivation, are you willing to do what it takes? And that goes right back to what Madison said to me after her race. She said, wow, Dad, this feels so good. I feel so good. I feel like I've worked just perfectly and I can't wait to come back next year. And I said, you need to take that energy and you need to take the energy you're feeling now, and 3 months from now when there's nothing and there's no crowd to watch you run and it's 6 a.m, you still got to get yourself out of bed and do the 4-mile run so that you can come back to this place again next year and feel good again, And sometimes I think we're so short-sighted with things. And then for me, a lot of it's fear. I feel this sense of fear, and I think that causes me to lose motivation. I look for a way out of the fear, and then I'm not motivated, and then I go, well, I'm not motivated, so I guess I don't have to do it today. So I'll look for something else to distract myself, and then I'm doing something where I'm doing research on YouTube instead of being out doing the thing I had on my list for the day.
I know exactly where you're talking about. I've been in that spot far too often.
Yeah.
It's no good.
Yeah. YouTube is a motivation killer, but I love it.
Yeah. It's a total time suck for sure, but one of the things that I think is so important for me to figure out right now is getting up and getting out of bed in the morning. So this is something that I look to you in a lot of ways as being a good example. And actually, funny enough, Chelsea and I, while we're in Logan, we stayed in their bedroom and slept in their bed last night while they were down in Provo. And this morning, the alarm goes off at 5 o'clock, and I'm like, whose alarm is that? And it wasn't mine, it wasn't Chelsea's, that's for dang sure. But it was one of theirs, and I was thinking, it's 5 o'clock, somebody has this set because they're getting out of bed.
I forgot to turn it off. I'm sorry.
And it was Ty, obviously.
Right.
I didn't have a question.
I meant to. It actually crossed my mind to turn it off for you because I knew you probably want to get up at 5 o'clock. But.
No, I appreciate the reminder that I got something to work on. Because part of it for me is that I know the best time for me to crank out some of these projects that we've talked about and to really spend time immersed in creative flow is in the morning. I've experienced that fully. I already know. Yeah. But it's still something that I struggle with day in and day out, is to just get up and get out of bed when the alarm goes off. It's such a temptation to just hit snooze. Another 15, another 15, another 15, another 15, another 15. And then all of a sudden it's 8, 9 o'clock. Well, not that usually that late for me, but just the idea of it is that I have a nonstop battle with the alarm clock.
And talk about motivation killer. The best way to kill your motivation is to hit the snooze button in the morning. Nothing worse than laying in bed and having failed before you get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Fail. I remember when we were in college, me and my roommates got in this big debate. So this was back in 1999. Got in this big debate, and my pride to this day hasn't ever let me hit the snooze button because I told them that they were killing their self-discipline and their motivation first thing in the morning if they ever hit the snooze button, even though I did too.
Yeah.
And so from that day forward, I said I'd never hit the snooze button again, and I haven't. And to you guys, my roommates from the college, you guys can know I'm not a big snooze button guy. I know that my buddy John Aramet, he'd fight me to the tooth and nail. He still pushes it all the time, right? But yeah, there's something to mornings that is really powerful. And for me, part of it's just by necessity on my weekdays when I get up to go to my other UPS job. And But while I'm there, I notice that when I'm listening to the books that I listen to, or while I'm trying to ponder while I'm at work, I think for me, the best thinking happens for me in the morning. And then when I get up early, I feel like I've got time on the world that the rest of the world is missing. There's a different hue to the look of the world when you get out and go running in the morning or hiking in the morning, or when you get out and journal or ponder, or even just sit up and read your scriptures or listen to a good book. And then you look around and the world is asleep. Yeah. And it's the time, it really is the time where I think we're most open to those kind of deeper meaning thoughts and ability to kind of get the revelation that we're looking for in our lives.
Absolutely. It actually reminded me of a time, at some point in my life, I had an apartment in Chicago. I was there during July 4th, one summer about 4 years ago. I got up the day after July 4th, so July 5th morning. Probably everybody had been out hammered, drunk, and were hungover. Nothing's going on in the world. In downtown Chicago, it was me on a bike out to watch a sunrise. I had the city to myself, and awesome. There is such an incredible feeling. I love riding my bike in cities anyway, but to be inside of a huge city, one with massive skyscrapers towering all around you, and to just blast through, have all the lights hit green sequentially for you because there's nobody else around to trigger them, feels so good. And actually there were a couple other people out there. It was some Deadheads for a Grateful Dead concert. It was a reunion concert that they had, and I've never seen so many tie-dyes in my life. People they look like zombies. Right in, yeah. Yeah, exactly. It was great. But that morning was really special, being able to see the sun come up over the lake there, right on one of the Great Lakes, and have that place to myself for just thought and like you were talking about, it's a different world having the morning.
It really is. I think that's one reason why I love the goal you had years past of the sunrise every day. There's something to that, and I think that's something that as we get into our project more, we want to try to push. Yeah. You know, people to get up and see the sunrise, and we'll even have maybe some challenges coming along in the future. Yeah. So
no doubt.
But I don't know. It was a great day today. I think if you guys could just capture like the essence of what we're standing in right now. I know it's probably hard on camera, but this is absolutely beautiful. The temperature's probably in the 50s. There's a very slight breeze. You can kind of see the sunflowers behind us kind of blowing in that breeze with the sunset. You can't see the sunset. Maybe we'll get a picture of that on the way out, but it's just absolutely amazing. And boy, if there's nothing else that we're trying to do here to share with everyone who might be watching this, it's sure is helping my heart just to get out and do these things. Yeah. So I'm really grateful that you're taking the time to come down and do this, and hopefully we'll continue to be consistent with it. And
I hope that we do as well, and I'm as committed as I can be. I was thinking even on the way up here, with you being sick, that was the one caveat that I was thinking maybe we shouldn't or wouldn't do it, but coming out and feeling that apprehension of, man, I don't, all these same fears come up of, you don't have anything to offer, you're inadequate, you know, whatever that speak is behind in my head. I start on the trail, we get climbing, and something changes. I don't know how to capture it more than what it is that we've already shared, but I'm glad that this is also a part of the process. It's not just that we're sitting in some office somewhere, and I've got beef with fluorescent lights. I don't know how to describe that either, but it's...
I think most men do.
Yeah. That's probably true.
They just don't know it. Most of them don't know it yet.
Yeah. Can't quite pinpoint what it is, but it's the 60 hertz of just flickering nonstop and
killing your soul.
Killing the soul slowly. Yep. Yeah, glad to be out here.
Cool. Well, should we call it a wrap for tonight?
Let's do it.
All right.